Welcome back! This is part 2 of 3 if you're watching the video version, or it's just part 2 of 3 and it's just been like 2 seconds.
And you just wasted 10 seconds listening to that.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about particularly apps on smart devices for now, but there are other places that kind of, like on your computer, you can play the same app on your Facebook, on your computer, as you would as you download on your phone. So let's talk about games first.
What kind of games, Sian?
Well, if you have gifted a smartphone or a tablet to your child, there are a couple of things that take into account. One is the age recommendation of the app or the game.
What are child-appropriate apps?
There is a whole section usually on whatever application store, so I believe, what's the one on iPhone?
It's the App Store.
Yeah. So either on the iPhone App Store or on the Google Play Store, there will be sections for family-friendly or child-friendly applications, ranging from educational applications to games and other things. But all apps have an age recommendation usually. It'll be seen under the title as like a number plus, so 3 plus or 16 plus. And what those refer to are the ads that then get attached to the app. So when it comes to picking a game with your child, which we definitely recommend that you should do, don't just give them a device and say, have fun. But there are a couple of reasons why you should keep an eye on your child's choice of application, what they decide to do with it, and what they are choosing to play. One is definitely the age thing, but they could be playing a game for a 16-year-old because they're smart, but if they are connected to the internet while they are playing that game, an ad might appear that may not necessarily be appropriate for a child of like 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of things to keep an eye out for. Also talk to your kids about not clicking on ads that appear on applications. They usually flash or they pop up at the end of a level or things like that. There's usually an X in a circle. So teach them whenever something pops up is you can close that ad so that they can continue to play. Yeah. So they
Search for the X, kids.
Search and press. Search and press. Also, sometimes with ads, it'll require you to watch a certain amount of the ad before you can close it. Just also tell your kids if there's usually a number counter over where the X would appear.
Maybe that might be a good time for the child to put the phone down and then go get a glass of water.
Do some exercises.
Yeah.
From sitting down too long.
Yeah.
How exciting. Also, in-app purchases are a thing that you probably need to be aware of if you have a credit or debit card attached to your Gmail account or your iTunes or Apple account.
Yeah.
What's it called? Apple ID?
Apple ID.
So if you have a card or a bank account attached to that, it's usually a good idea to put in child locks. There are settings in the App Store and in the Google Play Store for parental control so that if your kid is trying to buy something, they have to input the password. If you are trying to protect your kids from randomly pressing everything and doing all the transactions, password protect.
Yeah. The passwords are mandatory, I think, on the App Store. So yeah, you can't get away with not having a password.
Yeah, particularly for young kids that you don't tell them what your password is. That's unless you explain to them, don't do this. Also with a lot of games, but also with some more practical applications, there is a paid component. So you can, for example, on a yoga app that I have, you can pay for different yoga tutorials. But why would you do that? You just use the free ones. You can do that. Unless you really want to, then you can pay for it.
Yeah.
Also with games, for extra moves when you can't finish a level, or for items that make your character, whatever it is, stronger, or any of those kinds of things. Explain to your kid, this costs real money, but here are the other things that you can get with like the currency that you earn in the game. So you need to know if you are looking out for a child, or even just for yourself, if you didn't really realize what all of that is doing, and you're like, I'm not connected to why can't this work? Because it costs money. Be careful.
Should I have social media account in the first place?
Just because it's there doesn't mean that it's coming back to being a sheep. If you don't want to use a social media, then don't use it. Don't listen to your friends or your colleagues that said, oh, this happened on Facebook last night, and you're just like, what?
Yeah. Fear of missing out, or FOMO, is something that a lot of tech-savvy people are starting to develop. It's almost like a social anxiety. You'll see your friends doing things on social media. You might be studying at home, and then you'll look at your Facebook feed, and you'll see all the things that they're doing, and you're like, I'm not doing that.
I wish I was doing that.
And then you might feel inadequate, you might feel anxious, you might feel left out, depending on what it is you're seeing. But, you can talk to your friends in real life, because they might be posting a photo from 3 months ago when you were, like, sick or on your own cool holiday.
Yeah.
That's just one of the things to keep in mind. And to also explain to teenagers who are legally allowed to be on Facebook and those kinds of things, that they shouldn't feel like they're missing out or they're not doing something because they may not be able to go to the things that their friends are posting on Facebook or tweeting about or putting photos of on Instagram. But you can do so much more with your phone. Then check your Facebook, send a text, call people, or play games.
Yep.
You can do so much more.
You can.
What useful apps are out there?
There are also we were talking about it earlier, educational apps.
Yes.
Books.
Yep.
You can also look at books online, read books online. Health apps as well. If you are a woman, and you have your period, you have apps which your phone can remind you on, when are going to be your moody days.
Yeah, expected times. Also good for tracking your own period. I know that, whenever you go to the doctor, they ask when was your last period. It's like, I don't know. Then you have an app to refer to.
Yeah.
Also, if you are trying to plan, a pregnancy, or if you are tracking your pregnancy, there are apps for that as well. And it's always good to take those kinds of things, try them out. They all look different, they all have different features, so try a couple out. But keep in mind that downloading them will cost data.
Yes.
Whether you're using your Wi-Fi at home or whether you're using your phone's data package, that does cost. And so in the App Store or in the Google Play Store, you should be able to find out more about the app, which includes how large an app actually is. It can range from anywhere between 5 megabytes, which is a tiny amount, to 1 gigabyte, which is huge and very expensive.
Yes.
So keep those kinds of things in mind when you are choosing what app you want to download.
And also update as well. Updating your apps costs
data as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are benefits to updating your app. Some people fix things that are broken, so bugs in the system. For games, they might update quite regularly. I know for a lot of games, because it is Christmas time, they've updated to feature a lot of different Christmassy things. Like things look a little bit different. There might be snow. The characters might look different. There might be a different kind of level that you can play. But just keeping in mind, is this something that I want to do? Or is this something that I don't feel like is necessary? And usually when you go to the app, when you choose to update it, it'll tell you what that update is actually for. Yeah. Whether it's for fixing bugs or, it's the Christmas update.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we're going to be talking about a couple of good practices. There are a whole lot of other materials out there, but we just have a couple of quick pointers.